Well, it's winner takes the Western AA tonight in the Jungle, as both visiting Big Sky High and hometown Helena High are 5-0 in conference play and top 5 in the state. We got some standalone basketball tonight here in Helena with the Big Sky Eagles coming to town. They just beat Butte on the road. Meanwhile, Capitol High, the home team, they just lost to their rivals Helena High, and they're going to be looking for a bounce-back game. Well, both Helena High and Capitol High have started out 2-0 in Western AA play, so tonight we'll see if they can keep those perfect conference records on the line. First things first, Capitol, they're taking on Sentinel here, and then across town, Helena High will be taking on Missoula Hellgate. Well, it's time for some wrestling here in Helena as the Butte Bulldogs are in town in the Bears Den to take on the Capitol High Bruins. Well, it's Kalispell versus Helena tonight in girls AA basketball. Starting up first here at Capitol High, where the Bruins will be dueling against the Glacier Wolfpack, and then over to Helena High, where the Bengals are hosting Kalispell Flathead. Well, the great prophet Jalen Hurts once said, "Either win or you learn." So after both Helena AA girls basketball teams beat both Kalispell girls AA basketball teams last night, we'll see if the Kalispell teams can learn from that and get a victory. Well, we got freezing temperatures outside, but it's only heating up on the basketball court here in Helena. First things first, the defending state champion Hellgate Knights are in town to take on the Capitol Bruins here, and then across town, Sentinel High is going to take on the Helena High Bengals. Sports fans in Montana all turned their heads this week as one of the Treasure State's most talented athletes committed to a Big 12 school. That's right, Helena High's Logan Todorovich is going to be running track at Baylor.
Yeah, Waco was super cool. Obviously, Baylor's a great school. They have super great facilities. And then Waco's a super cool town. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Montana, but it's obviously Texas, which is cool.
The senior did visits at Indiana, Michigan State, Oregon State, Missouri, and then Baylor in December before committing this week.
To see what's available to Division I athletes at that level is eye-opening. I think the process of recruiting is a hard one. So by the end of it, Logan was ready to make a decision.
It's like a dream come true. It's something that I know a lot of people want, and I think being able to experience, I'm very thankful and grateful for.
Todorovich is a 4-time state champion and holds the long jump state record in Montana.
She's one of the kindest people I know. She reached out to me this year to see what she could do to make our program better, and I think that just demonstrates how much she cares about her teammates, how much she cares about her coaches, and wants to help us and really wants to expand what we do as a program.
The Big 12 commit will have one more season with Helena High before heading to Waco, and her Bengals have a chance to three-peat.
I think the biggest goal is to win state as a team again. I think that's every girl on our entire team and Jesse's goal. And then individually, I'd like to win long jump and hurdles again, and then maybe some other ones, and then obviously PR in a lot of those events.
Todorovich will be back in action for the Bengals this spring. For SWX Montana, I'm Jack Marshall. The offseason was a productive one for Capitol High senior Taylor Sayers, who went from averaging just over 5 points per game as a junior to leading the state in three-pointers made and leading the Bruins in scoring as a senior.
I always worked on what shots I'm going to get out of our offense, so I think that helps a lot. But just shooting every day, I think helps.
My favorite part about Taylor, besides her being a really good scorer, is she's such a great teammate and a leader for us. And she's stepped into her captain role and, not only a huge scorer for us, but one of our best leaders.
For Sayers, basketball runs in the family, as her mom, Rochelle, is a former Weber State standout and the current head women's basketball coach at Carroll College.
When I do get the opportunities to be there and support her and watch her and just be a parent, it's the greatest joy, whether she has 20 points or 0 points.
And the Capitol and Carroll basketball teams have become quite close, not only with the Sayers connection, but also because multiple Bruin families host out-of-state Carroll players during the school year.
That community connection through the host family program, through our camps, it just builds a great connection with the high school players as well as with our players.
Yeah, it's actually pretty special. I think just having those connections is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think there's such a close-knit community within Carroll basketball, and Rochelle and the Saints have been so good to us since I've been at Capitol, and they always welcome us with open arms at games.
But for Sayers and the Bruins, there's nothing to reminisce on yet, as the team is in the middle of a quest to get back to the state tournament for the first time since 2021.
I feel like it's been pretty good. I think that we're making improvements each and every day, so I think that's a good thing, moving in the right direction.
The Class AA Divisional Tournament will start in late February once the Bruins wrap up conference play. For SWX Montana, I'm Jack Marshall. Well, anytime a high school football team here in Montana gets to send players to the next level, it's exciting. But for the Helena High Bengals football team, not only are 4 players committed to play in college, but they're all headed to the same destination. Helena High seniors Kyler Larson, Manu Malo, Brett Grange, and Ryan Freisinger are all committed to play for Montana Tech. The Bengal quartet helped lead Helena High to an 8-4 record and an appearance in the Class AA state quarterfinals this fall. Looking individually, Brett Grange led the Bengals in total tackles while playing both sides of the ball and is committed as a defensive back.
The 35-30, Grange is beating all the Bulldogs down the sideline before he's finally tackled inside the 10. Back-to-back big plays for Brett Grange.
Just the amount of Montana kids they bring in is great for the program, and the way they can bond them all together to a family lifestyle. And I like how that's their motto, family.
Brett was a relatively unknown kid. He was a first-team All-State special teams player the year before, did some great things on specials, but just didn't have the game film to show to some of the colleges that what type of player he is. And when he got his opportunity, he did a heck of a job for us.
A fellow defender, Kyler Larson, led the Bengals in sacks and is signed to play a hybrid defensive end and outside linebacker role.
He's going to hand this one down the middle, and it's going to be swallowed up. Kyler Larson didn't want anything to do with it.
That's the free safety, Kyler Larson. He's third in Class AA with 7 sacks this year. You can see they love to use him up by the line of scrimmage like that.
I really liked how close it was to home. I mean, it was far enough out of town that I could come home whenever. The coach was really fun, super nice. The facilities, super nice. School, really well. I mean, everything good. I mean, everything there was good. I really liked it.
One of the top sack getters in the AA, and just proud of what he's done, and probably, looking long-term projection for him, probably somewhere within that same role down at Tech. Who knows what type of player he'll grow into, but, obviously he has some opportunities and some options at where he might fit into that defensive scheme.
On the other side of the ball, Manu Malo is committed to the Orediggers as a receiver after scoring 4 total touchdowns and leading Helena High in punt return yards.
Looking deep for Mello. What a grab by Manu Mello, and he's taking it to the house.
I just love the environment. Butte's a great place to be a part of the community. They have a good fan base. Tech has great facilities. The coaches are all super kind, and I have a lot of friends that have gone there in the past, so it'll be fun.
I mean, he's an explosive player, a playmaker that, we haven't seen through this school. He's rivals some of the best that we've ever had. He's all over our record books to prove it. So, an explosive kid who's got a bright future, and, if he gets in and grinds and does the things he needs to do, he's got a heck of a future down in Butte.
And finally, Ryan Freisinger led the Bengals in solo tackles while also stepping in as a running back and is slated to play outside linebacker at Tech.
Yeah, great tackle there by Ryan Freisinger. He's third on the team with 45 coming in, and he's been all over the field tonight.
Just a kid that just plays the game the right way. He plays all out and gives his best effort every time he's on the field. And, another kid that if he sticks with it and gets after it and puts in his dues down in Butte, I think he's got a really bright future down there.
The 4 will join a Tech team that went 7-2 last season. For SWX Montana, I'm Jack Marshall. Former Carroll College football player Tug Smith was commissioned as a second lieutenant into the National Guard today. Smith was a starting safety for the Saints this fall, racking up 50 tackles and being named first team all-conference in the Frontier. He will graduate with a degree in sociology from Carroll before heading to Fort Huachuca in Arizona. Smith was joined by his 2 brothers, parents, and fiancée in the ceremony that was held in the state capitol rotunda in Helena. A Washington native says that after his service is done, he wants to stay in Helena and pursue a career in law enforcement.
It's super rewarding. You know, it was a lot of work with ROTC, football, school, but it was a challenge. They told me it was going to be a challenge, but you know, if you work hard enough, you can do it. Anybody can do it.
Doug is going to be one of those shining stars to make sure we protect our national interests and protect our Constitution and our American way of life.
For SWX Montana, I'm Jack Marshall. And which players on the team do you think, you can count yourself for some of them, but we're looking for, are the best at certain other sports, not basketball?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you honest answers too.
Okay, yeah, I want some honesty here. So just starting in football, who on the Saints you think would be some of the best football players?
Me.
You?
Me. I've seen Gee kick a field goal. He'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Josiah, he swear he one of the best receivers to come out of Carroll. I don't really believe it, but I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll give you it.
What about golf? Who's the best golfer?
Oh, Garv, for sure. Garv, Riley, Luke, he's a sleeper. And yeah, them the only three people I've actually seen golf, and Garv, he's like that.
Okay, he's
nice
good.
swing.
Yeah, he's got it. Okay, what about like water polo?
Ooh, water polo. You know, that seems like something Gee might be good at. Or, no, something like that, I'll give it to James. James seems like he might be good at that.
But moving into the third point, let's say you're going to go on a big vacation and maybe Home Alone style, you accidentally forget your kids. Accidentally. Who are some you got to call some players on your team and be like, hey, can you maybe babysit my children for a while? Maybe watch over them. I'm a little older for babysitting now, but I guess who on the team would you want to babysit your kids?
Well, I would probably call on our younger players, our freshmen for sure, probably Alex and Ellie. They might still be a little scared of me, so I think that they would make sure they really watched over them, didn't let them get away with too much. I think our older players, I think Maddie would probably be up playing Fortnite with them all night, and I think Jamie and Kendall, they'd probably let them do whatever they wanted. Addie and Izzy, they might put the hammer down, but I think Taylor could talk them into anything. So I think I'd go with our freshmen on this one. I think maybe the fear that if something happens, if the kids get out of hand, that they'd have to suffer the consequences. I think I would go with Alex and Ellie on this one.
Let's say there's a zombie apocalypse and it comes here to Helena, wherever, and you get to pick some of your teammates out there, maybe some coaches. Depends. I mean, Jamie didn't want Coach Sayers on the raft with her, so
yeah.
But so zombie apocalypse, who on the Saints do you want around you in that?
Gosh, probably nobody too fast, because then I would be the slowest person if they were fast. If Sienna was still on the team, I would say Sienna, because our freshman year had a really poor habit of skipping class and playing Call of Duty Zombies, and we got pretty good. So if Sienna was still around, she's still in Helena, so I'd probably find her first. I think Jamie and I could do some damage. Other than Erica, yeah. Okay. Erica could probably find a vaccine or something like that. Coach Sayers, no. She would, I don't know, no. Maybe JD.
Maybe JD.
JD could see from the horizon.
Okay,
yeah.
That's great. Bring some alums in. I like to hear that.
Yeah, definitely Sienna though. We were quite the team in Call of Duty, so.